All right, your homework for this section is homework number 1 is going to be combine your favorite indicators and manual technical analysis. For me, that is fair value gaps, the mitigation and breaker blocks like we talked about, and order blocks. Now, I think we skipped over order blocks in the lesson, so let me quickly go over that. An order block is a change in delivery of price and price comes back into it. So I don't it's not my favorite unless it's a really high time frame. I don't really use them on low time frames. But this is an example right here. So price is coming down. This last down candle before price changed to the upside, here's your order block. So when price comes back, theoretically, it should go back up. Now, if you look, we had that low, high, low, and then it broke through, right? So for a mitigation block would be this one right here. So they kind of overlap, and then you have this fair value gap, right? Which perfectly lines up. And so what I would use, seeing that there's 3 different things right here, I would use this middle one where they pretty much kind of overlap. My entry would be within this box. So these are manual and technical analysis. That's what I'm talking about. So figure out what you like to use. Then you're going to figure out what indicators you want. If you're going to use any, I do use them because they help me just reference quickly what the bias is. Now it looks a little messy, but when I'm trading, I'm usually down here and I'm seeing, okay, this EMA is red. We're bearish. We're below the VWAP as well as the extension of it. We have a fair value gap for selling and we have a fair value gap for buying. So whatever way price goes, if it comes down here, I'm looking to take it up into this area. If price goes up here, I'm looking to take it down to this area. So I kind of have an idea for both sides where I want to take it. And then when it sets up, that's what I'm going to take. So if you want to copy what indicators I'm using, VWAP, our EMA, implied fair value gaps, which is the wicks, as well as the normal fair value gaps. And then I have the pivot points when if you zoom out, you can kind of see where price gravitates to these areas. And they're just kind of rough parts in the market that I'm looking for price to go or get near. So if I'm looking around here, whatever fair value gap, somewhere right around here is where I'm looking for a fair value gap to potentially take price up to. So that is homework assignment number 1. Start getting your trading system put together. Homework number 2 is starting to define your risk management strategy with your technical analysis. If you're using my indicators or something else, figure out what you want it to do to help you minimize risk. I don't want it to cross above the VWAP or certainly not the EMA. So my stop loss will always be somewhere around here. Right? I'm going to follow it down. Now, with how this price is curving, it might start going above. Usually when it starts curving flat, it wants to go the other side. So that is your 2 homework assignments for this section. Start figuring out what you're going to use to read price and get a bias, and figure out what you want those to not do and or key levels that they're at the time of your entry of where you're going to put your stop loss. And then figure out how you're going to get out of your trades. Are you going to hold it for the whole time? You're going to get out at a certain level and then hold the rest for another level? That is up to you. There is no right or wrong. You got to build a system. That is what I'm doing throughout these 3 courses we offer. Building your foundation, controlling your mind, and getting as advanced as possible, you got to put that all together and figure out what your system is going to work for you. Because what works for me and my emotional level is what works for me. I had to refine it many times and keep working until I found a system that makes me less emotional and I could trust, and it has very clear rules. That is the goal for you when you're building your trading plan. Now, if you haven't got our journals yet, that is one of the most important thing, my trading strategy and rules. So you're beginning of the quarter, you're going to write down all your rules and you're going to stick to it as you're journaling. And when it asks you to reflect on your day, you got to be honest. Did you listen? Did you follow your rules? Did you not? It was a good trade. It was a bad trade. This happened, whatever. I didn't follow this. You got to be honest with yourself, and you'll have this to reference that, okay, I'm getting emotional. And then you see, last time I did this, it did not play out for me. I need to ignore my emotions and just stick to my rules. Go over your rules. You're reminded of what works, what your system is, and then you go back to the markets and execute it to the fullest. So I'll talk to you guys in the next section where we go into introducing trading psychology, which is personally my favorite. If you're following us on TikTok, you already know that is what we talk about the most. So I'm excited for this next section. I'll talk to you then.